Ah, sorry, my microphone was muted. Can you guys hear me okay? Oops. So I said, Shalom, Yakar, Landa, Brenda, Mentat Assassin, Gary, Michael, Julie, Brooke, Tet, Steven, Gary. All right. Okay, now, yeah. It's this microphone. I pressed the unmute button, but I was trusting it to actually do it. I forgot you got to really jam it in there. It's a decent microphone, but I got it used on eBay, so it doesn't always, you know. They didn't mention that it was a little finicky on the mute button. So usually I don't mute. So it's loud enough for you guys? Okay, I'll go ahead and start saying the psalm, and then maybe you guys let me know. So I felt led to do Psalm Sheva, that's Psalm 7 tonight. So as our opening prayer, here are Tehillim, number 7. I don't know if I'll translate it or not. It's not long, but about medium. Although if I do, then maybe I won't describe the grammar or get into any Ugaritic or anything like that. We'll just do kind of a high level, because otherwise that'll be all our time will be on the psalm. All right, Julie says she always starts her day with a blessing from this lesson and a smile. I like that. A blessing from this lesson. It almost rhymes, right? Nice. You know, it's funny. There's one horsefly left in here. And he was chill, just relaxing until I started. And now he's like flying all over the place and stuff. So if you see me swatting at something, that's not a big fan of the flies. Yeah. All right. So now we'll pray. Shigayon LaDavid, Asher Shar Ladonai. A shigayon. This is like a energetic, moving around psalm, right? Some would say contemplative. I think he probably danced to the psalm. The David of David, Asher, which Shar Ladonai, he sang to Adonai, or for Adonai. Al divrei Cush ben Yamini, with the words of Cush, the son of Yamini. Yamini means on my right, the son on the right, right? So it's kind of interesting. Adonai Elohai becha hasiti. Oh Adonai, my God, in you I have sought refuge. Hoshi'eni mikol rodefai v'hatzileni. Hoshi'eni, save me, rescue me, mikol rodefai, from all of my persecutors. V'hatzileni, and snatch me up. Pen yitrov ke'aryeh nafshi. Porek v'ein matzil. So that, okay, pen is, I'll just go with lest. Lest Yithrov, he will tear. This is where we get the word treif from. When a food is not kosher, we say it's treif. Treif is from the Yiddish, but it's originally from Hebrew, taraf, to tear, like an animal tears it. If an animal tears it, even if it's a chicken, you can't eat it, it's not kosher. So, lest they tear, so this, it feels like an animal doing it. Ke'aryeh, like a lion. Nafshi, my throat. My nefesh. Porek, tearing, breaking, ve'ein matzil, and there's none to rescue, none to natsal. See the same verb. Adonai Elohai, oh Adonai, my God. Im atziti zot, if I have done, okay, literally this, but it might mean like kind of like an insolent action, right? We find from Ugaritic there's a zut, so it might be that. Zot. Gotta mute my laptop. Im yesh avel, if there is injustice, bechapai, in this part of my hand. For those of you listening to the podcast, it's the palm and the underside of the fingers, right? It's kind of like a palm, but a bit more. In biblical Hebrew, this is where guilt is stored. It's the part that the dogs did not want to eat from Jezebel. Im gamalti sholomira, if I have repaid. Sholmi can mean like my allies, like the ones who are peaceful with me. If I've returned that, ra, evil, or if I stripped away my adversaries, rekam, empty-handed or for no reason. Yiradov oyev nafshi v'yaseg v'yirmos la'aretz chayai. Yiradov oyev, may the enemy pursue nafshi, my life, v'yaseg, and may he overtake, V'yirmos, and may he trample down la'aretz, to the earth. Probably the meaning is ground here. Chayai, my life. By the way, you'll notice here, nefesh meant life, and up above it more than likely was throat, like I translated in context. Uchevodi le'afar, and my glory, or my honor, le'afar, to the dust, or to the mud. Yashkein Selah, may it inhabit Selah. Kuma Adonai be'apecha. Arise, O Adonai, be'apecha, in your anger. Probably that's what it means, not in your nostril. Remember we had this word, nose or nostrils? Hinaseh be'avrot, lift up the wraths of my adversaries. Ve'orah, and stir up elai, for me, like meaning stir up your emotions for me. Mishpat, justice, tzivita, may you command it. Probably a precative perfect. So don't get confused thinking it just says you command it. It's a soft way of saying a command, right? It's soft because he's talking to the Lord. Ve'adad leomim tesovaveka. Now the assembly of the people, or peoples, tesovaveka, they surround you. Ve'aleha lamarom shuva, and upon it, lamarom, to the high place, shuva, return, please. Adonai yadin amim shofteni Adonai. May Adonai yadin, judge amim, the peoples. Now this is a harsher word for judge. Yadin, from din. This is a din is a judgment, or like we have in rabbinical Hebrew, we have a beit din, right? Like a house of judgment, like a religious court. Okay. But so that's what's going to happen to the amim. Okay. But what's the psalmist saying? What kind of judgment is he asking for? Shofteni, judge me, O Adonai. This shafat has an idea of ruling, right? The idea is it's in our favor because he's our Abba. Ketzidki, according to my justice. Uchetumi, and according to my completeness, my wholeheartedness. Alai, which is with me. Yigmol na'ara reshaim utechonen tzadik uvochein libot uchilayot Elohim tzadik. Sorry, that's true. Yigmol na, remove now the ra, the evil ones, the ra reshaim, the evil of the wicked ones. Sorry. Utechonen, and may you establish or make firm tzadik, the just one, or the one who's found to be the winner in a court case. Uvochein libot, and search out libot, hearts, uchiliayot, and kidneys. So what does this mean? It means libot is minds, uchilayot, and kidneys are hearts, right? To make it sound right in English. The libot, the mind, pardon me, the hearts, the minds, that's where the thought process happened in the ancient Near East. And the kidneys in biblical Hebrew, this is where the emotions were. So to make it sound right in English, we'd say minds and hearts. Although you could be literal, hearts and kidneys. Oh Elohim Tzaddik, Elohim, the one who is righteous, or the one who is just. Magini al Elohim, Moshia Yishrei Lev. Magini, very interesting. So this is either related to magen, which is a short shield, like a little circle shield you could hold on one arm, as opposed to a tzinor, which was like a full body shield, right? Arrows are coming in, you cover yourself with the tzinor, right? But if you're going hand-to-hand combat, you've got the magen, right? In Yiddish, the word for the Star of David, it's Magen Dovid, right? We say Star of David in English, but it's the shield of David, right? Like that presumably was on his shield, was the Star of David. Magani, it can also be from Magan, which is a suzerain. So, I'm sorry, I may be explaining too much. We're praying also. So, Magini, it could also be like, be my suzerain, or defend me, protect me. Al Elohim. I think instead of Al, it's a little bit weird. It says like upon or with God. I think it's probably that ancient divine epithet. Al, it's similar to El, like El Elyon, like O Most High Elohim of the gods. Moshiach, related to Yeshua. Rescue. Yishrei Lev, the ones who are upright in heart, the straight ones in mind. Those who are straight-minded, right? Elohim Shofet Tzadik, God judges the righteous, or the just. Ve'el Zo'im Bechol Yom, but he is against Zoaim, the insolent one, Bechol Yom, every day. Im lo yashuv charbo yiltosh. If not, he will unsheathe. Oh, I'm sorry. If not, if he doesn't return his sword, yiltosh, let him unsheathe it. Unsheathe. What will he unsheathe? Kashto, his keshet, his bow. I'm sorry, I ignored that nachta. Okay. If he returns, if he does not return, charbo yiltosh, his sword he will unsheathe. Okay. Kashto, his bow, darach, he will, what's it called when you put the string on the bow? It's called darach from derech. Like, the verb darach can mean like to march. The idea is you put your foot on the bow, you darach it, and you bend it and put the string on. I can't think of what that's called in English. Anyway, you understand. Vaechonaneha, and he makes it ready. Let me just make myself smaller. That might be the way to handle this. Velo hechin kalei mavet, chitzav ledulakim yif'al. Velo, and belonging to him, or for himself, hechin, he prepares kalei mavet, instruments of war. Chitzav, his arrows, ledulakim. Oh, very interesting. Okay. So, his arrows, this can mean for the pursuers, right? Those who have been chasing the psalmist, or it can mean his arrows as burning instruments, right? Like he makes them flaming. Lidolkim, for flaming instruments, yif'al, he prepares them. He prepares. Probably have to borrow the suffix there. Hine yechabel avin, behold, the one who births injustice. Oh, this can also mean calamity. V'hara amal, and becomes pregnant with toil. V'yalad, and births shaker, and he who births, and one who will birth a lie. Bol kara, a pit he dug. V'yachparehu, and he dug it out. V'yipol, then he fell. B'shachat yif'al. Oh, it's beautiful. In another word for pit, in the pit, he made, right? But look, this yifal, it's the same as Hashem is yifaling. Hashem made his fiery darts, his fiery arrows ready, right? But this guy, he dug a bore, he dug a pit, and then he fell in it, in the shachat, another word for pit, which he made. But this one, it's interesting because shachat is also a name for hell, right? So it's like the guy, it's kind of giving you a hint what's going to happen to him. Yashuv amalo v'rosho. Amalo, his own toil returned upon his head. Ve'al kodo chamaso yered. And upon his kodkod, his forehead, chamaso, his injustice or his violence, yered, went down. Oh, you could also say with his forehead, his violence went down. Either way works. Odeh Adonai katzidko. I thank Adonai according to his justice or his righteousness. Va'azamera Shem Adonai Elyon. More justification for, I kind of on the prompt to decide to translate this as like El, right? That nickname for the Most High. And now we have a nice inclusio. I think that was correct. Va'azamera, and may I make music. This word, azamera, to make music, it implies with instruments, right? Not just singing. Shem Adonai, for the name of Yod-Heh, Waw-Heh, Elyon, the Most High. Hallelujah. Thank you, Stephen. To string a bow, right? I can't remember what you call it in English. Yeah, you put your foot on it in the Hebrew. That's why it's darach. It's like you're trampling the bow. Literally is what it's saying, right? But it means to bend it. Like you got a real powerful bow. That's why he has to use his foot, right? It's implying that it's bronze or something. He's got to put his whole foot on there to string the bow. Nice. Okay, great. Yeah, string the bow. Yeah, okay, Gary got also. Sorry, I kind of worked backwards. Gary got there first, then Stephen. Probably same time you guys are typing it. Hey, Shalom Frank. Shalom Ani. Thea, Esther. Everyone who's come in. So anyway, I'm glad we read that. I pray what psalm we should do, right? And I'm not always sure what the psalm's going to say. And so I really feel alive now. That was awesome. So that was Psalm 7. Praise God. That was really, really a great psalm. Okay, hold on. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our reading in First Kings. Oops. First Kings chapter 10. Okay, almost there. Chapter 10. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brenda says, please give us thumbs up to support Rob's teaching. I agree. Yes, please do that, guys. And Gary says, same way to string a small fiberglass bow with the like, oh, okay, you still got to push it down with the, okay. You know, I should have known that. I used to teach archery merit badge back in the day. I was in high school, so, you know. All right, let's see. Okay. You know what they say, those who can't do, teach? Stephen said, love it. So much nuance in the Hebrew missing translation. Yeah, great. Thanks for that, Stephen. Also, do you feel the energy of the psalm? I mean, when we pray a psalm in Hebrew, it's just, so powerful. And especially when you understand what you're praying, this is the prize, guys. I want to tell you, it's worth it. It's worth all the work to get to that point. It's really worth it. And you can even take little shortcuts. You can like say, you know what, I really love Psalm such and such. I think I'm going to master that one psalm. And you can master the one psalm. Research all the words, their possible meanings, go deep, etc., etc. And, you know, and maybe memorize it, put it to music, all that kind of stuff. And then you'll own that one. And it will really like be part of your neshama, part of your spirit, right? And you'll be amazed when you start memorizing psalms. They just come out when you need them, right? They're there for you when they need them. It's not like just memorizing something in, you know, in French or something like this. You know, maybe it's a beautiful sounding poem or something. It's not the same. It's alive. It's Lashon HaKodesh. It truly is the holy language. I really hope you guys could feel it when we're going through. Even though we stopped and translated and stuff, sometimes you feel it more when we're just reading it, right? You know, and also, if you get in the habit of going through the Psalms very often yourself, you'll find that really you can I don't know, your spirit can feel it even before you get to the level of fluency. This is how it used to be with me before I understood them. Like I would just be going through it, and you can feel it's like there's something inside you that does understand it, just saying the Hebrew out loud as you're going through it, you know, and you can get kind of in this rhythm, right? Just I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it well. If anybody else has experienced this, maybe share. Brooke says, when was the earliest mention of the Star of David on shield? So we have in the Bible, we have Magen David, right, in the Psalms. But that literally says shield of David, right, the shield of David. And that's the Mogen David, that in Yiddish means the Star of David, right? I'm not sure where the tradition is. Yeah, that's a good question. How old the tradition is of it being the Star of David. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure how far back that goes. Like, as far as, I think you're asking rabbinical literature, right? Like, where do we find it mentioned in rabbinical literature? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I'm going to guess it's pretty late. Pretty late, because I don't remember coming across that in the Talmud, you know, so I'm going to guess it's pretty late tradition. Okay, and I'm just making an intelligent guess here, okay? Educated guess. I could be wrong. I'm going to guess Middle Ages, like early Middle Ages, you know, but I don't know. Yeah. If anybody knows, please chime in. Hey, shalom. Shalom, Dr. Jones. Herzlich willkommen. Okay, good. And, you know, some people, they get freaked out because some of the satanic groups, they've tried to co-opt the Star of David. Well, that's not fair. I mean, just like some groups co-opt the rainbow, right? I mean, that's not fair because some groups do some weird stuff or whatever. Just keep in mind that primarily the Star of David, it's a nationalistic symbol, right? It's like a symbol of a people. It's not really a religious symbol, right? You have an atheist walking around with a Star of David on, right? He just happens to be ethnic Jew, right? You know, so it's not, even though you see it in synagogues and above the, you know, it does also get incorporated, but that's kind of like the marriage of the people and the faith, right? It's unfortunate in English. I should have done this over in the Psalm part. I stopped. I was thinking maybe I could have the Psalm separate later. But in English we just have the one word Jew, right? But in some languages, like in Russian, they have two different words, and so it really works better. Like they have Yevrei, which is literally like a Hebrew, right? So that means like someone who's ethnically Jewish. And then they have Judaist, right? So you might have a Yevrei, Moshe don't, yes, Moshe, maybe he is a Judaist, right? You could have a Hebrew who is a Judaist. And then you might have like, a Frenchman who's a Judaist, right? You might have a Hebrew who's like a witch or something, right? So it kind of separates out the people from the like the ethnicity from the faith. So I kind of appreciate that Russian does that, but I don't know if anybody knows of other languages that do that in modern times, not just like from the 1700s called people Hebrews and stuff. I guess English used to, right? Dr. Jones says, bitteschön. Stephen says, just looked it up. There is a 12th century Karaite document mentioning the Magen David. Great! Very cool. Thank you for that. So the Karaites, so I was right. Early Middle Ages. Yes. Lucky guess. Oh man, the flies. He's so loud. What's that coming up on my shoulder? It's a miracle. Hello, miracle kitty. Sorry, I know you guys probably want to get back to the Hebrew, but he's looking at the fly. Get him. Sick. Attack. Get him. Good boy. This is Ziggy, our kid cat. Not quite a kitten, not quite an adult yet. He crawled over like a huge wall to get to us when he was a kitten. We were like, okay, if he comes over the wall, then we'll keep him. Otherwise, let him stay with his mother. Okay, so let's continue. Yeah, it's nice to have the help out there. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 10. Get it. Attack. No, don't step on Tanakh. No. He's hunting. He's in hunt mode. No. I'm sorry, but you got to go down. It's funny. He must have pushed the door open to get in here. I had the door closed. All right. He's talking to it, right? Like the fly's going to cooperate. Good boy. All right. Here we are. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 10 in the Hebrew. Yeah, get that fly. Vatiten la melech 120 kikar zahav. Okay. Vatiten. So this is the verb natan. Hey, shalom, Alec. Good to see you, Achi. Hi to my cat. Looking forward to seeing you for the holiday coming up. Okay, so this is from natan. Natan, to give. So the first noon got sandwiched in between the tav, which means you, or she. Okay? So it was teen tain, and that noon went inside the tav. That's why you have the strong dagesh. So teen tain became tit tain. Now we just say titain. So that means you will give, or she will give. The forms just look the same. Talking to a man, you, or talking about a woman, she. Then the vav changes the time, the vav consecutive. Va-ti-ten means, and she gave, we're talking about, of course, the queen of Sheba, the Ethiopian queen. La melech, to the melech, to the king. Mea, 100. The asrim. And now aser you probably know, aser. And then aser goes to plural, asrim, that's 20. Okay, Betty, no problem. Thanks for telling me. Shalom, shalom. Zeigesind. Okay. Kikar. So we talked about a kikar. Kikar is it's the largest unit of measurement they had for metals. Of zahav, of gold. Of esamim, and spices. Notice it's an u here. Now there's two reasons why it could be the u. We have the bump schwa rule, right? B, that's the b. No, you can't come here. Don't touch the Tanakh, Goofy. Sorry. Oh, I know. Yeah, not kosher for the cat to be walking by the Tanakh on the Tanakh. He snuck up on me. I didn't notice it. Okay. I lost my place. Did he turn the page? Surely not. Okay. Oh, here it is. Wait, no. Huh? Oh, we're down lower. Okay, sorry. of Zahav, and so bump schwa rule because the bait or because the schwa. Either one of those could have affected it. No. Oi. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't close the door hard enough, I think. Harbe means a whole lot. The root is from Rav, right? Harbe, a lot. Me'od, exceedingly. A lot exceedingly. So very much of these spices, the vesamim. Ve'evan yekara. Ve'evan, you guys remember Evan, right? We had an Evan in here before. Oh no, Brenda's son, right? Evan. So Evan, meaning, okay, there's a delay, so I don't expect you to say it before I say it, but stone. And what kind of stone? Yekara. Precious. Precious. And yekarati, my precious. Evan yekara, a precious stone. And precious stone. Now that's in the singular, but it's saying many, right? Lo vachabosim hahu. There has not va come. That's right, Brooke got it, Rock. Cha bosim. Cha is like, is the, bosim, like the aromatic spices. Hahu, that one. So like that aromatic spices, od is like again, larov, by abundance. Asher which, natana malkat sheva lamelech Shlomo. Asher which, natana, so that's natan, to give. The at the end means she gave. Natana, which she gave. Who's the she? Malkat sheva. So the word for queen, it's just like melech, see melech, but then we put a hey on the end. Malka. Malka is queen. But because it's malkat, it's queen of Shiva, of Sheba. So the queen of Sheba, because it's a chain, right? The last word is a name, so we have to say the queen of Sheba. La melech, le is two, is the, melech, king, Shlomo, Solomon. This one's not a construct. It literally says to the king. La melech, right? The ha left its footprint. Any questions? I'm going to get a drink real quick, guys. So, that fly is still surviving. Oh, I thought I fixed this. So when I turned my camera off, you can still see the screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, here we are. Verse Yod Aleph. That's 11. Vegam. And also, although sometimes gam can just be like an emphasizing particle, right? Vegam. And also, oni chiram. The ships. Although this is singular for a boat, an oni, but it can also mean a whole bunch of them, right? So the fleet, let's say the fleet of Hiram. Hiram's fleet. Asher which, nasa, carried, Zahav. Yeah, sorry it went black. I'd fixed that before. I don't understand why it's back to black. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just click my video and slide it off next time. Of Zahav, gold, May, Ophir. So Ophir is a place. Why is it May? Well, it's the word min, that means from. And usually we can make a contraction, like cannot in English becomes can't. We can say, instead of, you all know the bracha, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, who brings forth bread or food from the earth, min haaretz. Well, we could say meh and try to put the dagesh in there. But in this case, an aleph won't take a dagesh, just like it doesn't in the hey in haaretz. So instead of min haaretz, you could say may haaretz, and same thing here, may Ophir, from Ophir. That's a place. And no, it's not the Philippines. Clearly not. Hey V may Ophir. They brought, so this is ba is to come, And then the hey at the beginning and the yod before the third root letter reminds you it's hefil, or the causative form. So they caused to come, which means, or they caused to arrive, which is brought, right? Pardon me. And he brought me Ophir, from Ophir, atzei algumim. It's a weird word. So eitz is a tree, or it means wood. Okay. By the way, knowing this clears up a discrepancy in the apostolic writings where one gospel talks about Judas. No, you're really getting in trouble. Hold on just a sec, guys. Okay. Very sorry about that. I will make sure the door is... He's cute, but he's causing some distractions. Not really fully trained yet. Okay. So eitz, the fact that it can mean wood or tree. I remember watching a debate with Dr. White against a Muslim guy, an imam, I think. And the imam, he pulled out what he thought was a discrepancy in the New Testament. That one gospel said that Yeshua was on a tree, and the other said that he was hanging from some wood, right? And White, he's usually a great debater, but he didn't really have a good answer on that. And because he's just looking at the Greek, it's different words in the Greek, right? Well, it's Jewish Greek, right? So in Jewish Greek, I'm sure it's like Hebrew, right? it's wood and tree, it's the same word. So there's no discrepancy. There's no discrepancy when we reconstruct it back into Hebrew. So anyway, atzei, from atzim, which are trees or woods. So drop the mem. Woods of, or wood of, sounds more correct in English. Algumim. What in the world is almug? Brooks says Ophir had very good quality gold from what I read. Right. At one point in time, actually later, in late biblical Hebrew, in some of the prophetical works, Ophir actually comes to mean gold. Like fine gold, good quality gold. He's coming back. He's behind my chair. What a nut, this guy. Atzei algumim. I'm wondering if the head's going to pop up or not again. So this word is super rare. I think it's only here in the Bible. I'm trying to think. Nobody really knows what almugim wood is, right? So it's better when you don't know just to call it that in English. Almug wood, okay? In Ugaritic, they have a similar word, almag, which just means a local tree, like one of the trees that were local to them, right? So since Ugarit was over in Syria, maybe that's a source of some of that wood. But the Bible treats it like really special, so I'm not really sure. So maybe we just leave it like that. Okay. In other Eastern cultures, it was a wood that was highly prized by kings, right? In Akkadian, they have a similar word that was used for building doors and beds and that kind of stuff. Fancy doors, not just like strong doors or whatever. So anyway, it's mysterious. So almug wood, misad. Okay, this word's only one time in the whole Bible used architecturally. We don't know what that word means. Now, you can guess from the root of it, it's like foundation, so maybe like as a founding support, or or maybe it's something that's on the border of the stones that are the foundation or something, right? But we don't really know. Leveit Adonai, for the temple, for the house of Adonai. Uleveit HaMelech, and for the palace, for the house of the king. Okay. Vechinorot. Okay, a kinor, in modern Hebrew, this is a violin. All right. In biblical Hebrew, there's some think it was a zither, like these little things you play, you set in front of you and you play it, right? Others think it's a harp, like a little portable harp you could carry around, right? So this would be the plural, uchinorot, and like harps, unevalim, and lyres. Not like people tell lies, but Lyre. Little guitar type things. La sharim. La, the lamed is for. A is the sharim. So you might be able to guess what this is if you know what a shir is. Like you remember the shir hama'alot, the song of ascents, a song of ascents. So a shir or a shira, that's a song. And And the sharim, these are singers. For the singers. Lo v'chen atzei algumim. Lo, not, v'chen, came such, atzei algumim, almug woods. V'lo nira, and there has not appeared, ad, until hayom hazeh, till this day. So, very mysterious wood, and we don't see it again, and even the time that this is being written down. Okay? All right. How are we doing on time? Let me see. Okay, we got about 6 minutes left. Maybe we can do one more verse. Goodness, he's trying to destroy the green screen. It'd be funny if you see the cat floating up on the side or something. Like he's climbing. Oh, he's on the back part, not visible. Verse Yod Gimel, 13. V'hamelech Shlomo, and the king, Solomon, Natan, gave, lemalkat Shiva, to the queen of Sheba. What did he give? Kol cheftza. Kol, everything cheftza. Chefetz is a desire or a longing. So chefetz, desire of That the hey with the dot in it means you actually pronounce the H at the end. It's aspirated. That's not a dagesh. We call it a mapik. Anything she desired, any of her desire. Asher which sha'Allah. That sounds like Arabic. But sha'al is to ask. From this we get the word she'ela is a question. Or in the Psalms it can be poetic for a longing. Right? When we're told that Ki yitain Elohim she'elot levavecha. For God will give you the desires of your heart. It's really like the questionings of your heart. We have many other words for desire, so it's kind of an interesting word. But this is the verb. Sha'al is to ask. Sha'ala is she asked. So asher sha'ala, which she asked. Milevad, from only. Asher, which Natan he gave. La. Keyad hamelech. Okay, so it sounds a little bit awkward in English. The milevad, like from only, but it means like everything he gave was of a certain quality, okay? And what that quality was, keyad hamelech, like from the hand of the king, or the authority of the king, right? It's like kingly stuff he gave her. He's giving her back the caliber of what she gave him, right? Gary says, sounds like she desires Shlomo. Well, tradition is that's where we get our Ethiopian Jews from. Yeah, if you've ever been to Israel, every once in a while you'll see you'll see a black Jew walking around, yarmulke, machine gun, from Ethiopia. They're the Philoshians from Beta Israel. So that's their traditions, that she did like Solomon, he liked her too, and we have offspring from that union. So Kiyad HaMelech Shlomo, from the king Solomon. V'tefen, v'telech le'artsa. V'tefen, okay, this is kind of hard to recognize. The root is pei, nun, hey, and the hey has gone away. It's a lamed hey verb, right? Or a third position hey. So pana is to turn, or paneh is to turn, right? The tav, this can either mean you are turning, or you will turn, or she turned. Clearly, it's about her, right? Va, then, tefen, she turned. Va, telech, so this is from halach, or the alternate sign, halach. And she went le'artsa, to the eretz of to her land. Her, va'avadeha, and the avadim, we drop the mem, the avdei, the servants of her, and her servants. Okay, let me see how we're on time. 13. How long is verse 14? Oh, that's a good stopping point. I didn't notice there's the end of the pericope there. So maybe we will stop here. I know I put verse 14 in the listing, but I think maybe this is a more logical place to stop instead of beginning the next section, right? So we'll end here with verse 13. Besides, we did that psalm kind of a little bit more than I planned to. Brenda says, how would that be if the queen was not Jewish? Back then, we didn't have the matrilineal rule, although tradition is that she converted, right? She converted to Judaism. And she was so wowed by his wisdom and stuff. And and she thought his God must truly be amazing, and so she became Jewish. Or she, although back then we wouldn't call it that. She became a daughter of Israel, something like that. Yeah. So, just like Ruth, right? Like Ruth, she said, let your people be my people and your God be my God. Magical presto, she joined the nation, right? And that's David's ancestry, right? So she wasn't born Jewish, but she joined the nation of Israel. Yeah. So I think it's probably true. I think it's probably true. Hey, you're very welcome, Yakar. Any other comments or questions before I let you guys loose? Maybe one more minute, and then I'll end it so the video is a nice 45 minutes. We are making our way through the prophets. Gary says, and obviously raised her son as a convert. Good point. Right. Yeah, a lot of times it happens too, right? When people convert, for kids, conversion was very easy. Like very quick. At least today, I'm not sure about back then. I have to assume it was even easier then. Very welcome, Julie. Okay, I'm going to check out from the video. I'll stay here for a bit. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda says good teaching. Very glad you guys liked it. Tomorrow is Psalms. We're wrapping up Psalm 119, just a couple more weeks, and we'll be done with the largest chapter in the Bible. Shalom, shalom, Gary. Thank you, Brenda. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Oh, yeah, listen to Tet. Please remember to click the thumbs up, yeah? And thank you to all of our supporters. I really appreciate it. Those of you who can give. I'm just going to put a reminder up here. Here is the payment gateway. If you feel led. Okay? All right. Shalom, shalom. Be well.